right. Call it a scientific breakthrough or a crime against nature. Either way, the Frankenburger has made its grand debut. The world's first slab of meat grown in a lab was unveiled in London today. The result of a $330,000 investment and years of research. A chef fired up the stem cell burger in front of an audience and served it up with tomato and lettuce on a bun. So what does it taste like? Well, according to the researcher that got the first bite, a little bland.
There's quite some intense taste. It's close to meat. It's not that juicy, but the consistency is perfect.
All right, well, so how exactly does one make a test tube hamburger? Well, here's a freaky science lesson for you. First, you get a real cow. Tissue is taken from that animal's muscle. Then the cow stem cells are extracted from the muscle tissue, and they're basically put in a petri dish. Third, the muscle cells are grown under tension to bulk them up. And finally, the new muscle fibers are minced and turned into allegedly delicious hamburgers. There you have it. Obviously, a lot of people don't know what to make of all this as hamburger of the future, a test tube grown lab engineered piece of quote unquote meat. Well, here to talk about it and the future of food and what New Yorkers are dealing with today is attorney Peter Castellano from GMO Free New York. Well, let's talk first about the burger that was unveiled today. Thoughts about this, benefits, concerns, what do you think?
Sure. Well, I haven't eaten the burger personally.
Yes.
But,
just one person has, apparently.
Maybe one person, but you know, whether it's good or bad, or tastes good or bad, or is or isn't genetically modified, I think the most important thing for people, I know for me, would be please just tell me what's in.
What is it? How do you make? I mean, I guess it's similar to a burger, and and there are some benefits to it in terms of feeding the world.
Could be, right.
But concerns over what we're feeding them, correct?
Right.
Let's talk about GMOs today. And the fight is on, obviously, to label foods, and it's a fight that is definitely gaining support in New York.
Sure.
Talk to me about where it stands now.
Sure. So while, like you said about the burger, it might be good that there are genetically modified foods that might increase crop production, we just don't know if there's dangers, if they're really safe.
Sure.
And so in New York right now, there is a bill that's active, and there was a legislative hearing last week up in the Bronx, and the sponsor is Assemblywoman Rosenthal. And there appears to be a lot of support for the bill. Something like 90% of people just want to know what's in their food.
Yeah, what would be wrong? What's the fight against knowing, I guess, is the big question.
Well, from what I understand, the major arguments against it are that it will cost a lot to change the label, which is a little ridiculous because labels are changed all the time.
Of course.
And that somehow it's going to confuse people. Frankly,
or scare them.
Or scare them. But frankly, I don't see how having one more piece of information on a label could confuse people. It just helps them make a decision.
Gotta say, it makes sense. Peter, thank you so much for being with us tonight.